On deck for this week, we've got tight quarters because of rain where I'm at in the world. Rotating wrist. We're going to do 3x3 rotating wrist. I'm going to explain what that is going to look like here in a moment. We also will have 3x1 Queda de Rins, Crow Queda de Rins. A little more advanced, but we're going to break it down in a way that you can work through it depending on your level. Then we're going to have 3x4 Urso, Caranguejo, Urso. So we're going to be in two different positions going from side to side. So our rotating wrists, you can take a position in which you are up on your toes or down on your knees for this with your hands underneath your shoulders. So you can either be, as I said, on your knees or up on your toes. As you work through this, you're going to have your fingers pointed forward to start. Lift up one hand, turn that hand out just a little bit, switch sides. So you're going to put pressure on your shoulders and on those wrists in different positions. And you're going to turn in as far as you can. Pinkies are as close as they can get while hands are still underneath shoulders. And we're going to come out and circle back around. Except this time we're not going to stop with our fingers straight forward like we started. We're going to bring them in as far as they can comfortably go. And that's one. And we're going to turn back out. You're going to work through 3 sets of 3 of those at your own pace, making sure your shoulders are over top of your wrists throughout. Again, make the modification depending on where you are with your strength and mobility, whether you're going to be here on your knees, swinging side to side, and coming back around. Or if you're going to be on your toes, which is going to put a lot more pressure on your wrists and shoulders. Queda de Rins, Crow Queda de Rins. For this, we're going to start in Cocarinha. If you are still working on getting that mobility to come back onto your heels, that's okay. You can be up on your toes for this. You can even put, like we had in the previous video, a mat or something underneath you to support you at the heels. At our beginning progression here, for our Queda de Rins, we're going to come up and over. Fingers are pointing behind us. Notice my elbow is very close to my body. It's going to come in and press in on the side of my body in the oblique area. This is very similar to an earlier video where we worked on Queda de Rins against the wall. You might want to reference that one to get the positioning down, but essentially you're going to be right here on the side just above the hip bone or right in the hip bone depending on your particular body. So we're going to come down, up and around. Fingers on this first hand are pointing behind me, as I said. The other hand is going to come down and it's pointing away from me. And I'm just going to bring my weight down onto that back elbow. Now, this is good. That's our beginning progression. I'm going to show you from the side. And come up and around. Fingers are down behind me. Hand comes up. I'm creating about 160-degree angle if I were able to extend a line straight from each one of my wrists back. I'm going to come down onto that elbow. Now, if I'm more advanced, then I can come down and put the full weight of my body and bring my head down to the floor, cross my feet at the ankles, and come back down. work through that where you are. But that's going to be Queda de Rins. Then we're going to come down to crow. Crow is going to have fingers pointing straight in front of you. Notice my elbows are inside of my knees. I'm going to press my weight up toward my elbows. That's my beginning progression. More advanced, notice I did open up my hands a little bit more so they're underneath my shoulders, is I'm going to press my weight onto those elbows and lift my toes off the floor and find my balance. So you have two options there. So we come over, we have to do everything on equally on each side. I find my position, I come down, press my weight. Again, I could go for the more advanced version in tight spaces. Things slip, things fall. So one time through the whole thing together, I come over to one side, find my balance, come back down, go in the center, find my balance, come back down. And that is an option. You can place your forehead down on the floor here. It's a good practice as a capoeirista to be used to having your head on the floor, which in our North American culture is a little bit of an odd thing to do. So practicing that here is going to make it easier to do out in the wild, so to speak. So it's 3 by 1 is all I'm actually looking for there, is that does put a lot of pressure on the wrists. So our Urso, Caranguejo, Urso. Urso position, bear position. We are here and we're going to reach over and come down to Caranguejo. And then with the other arm, reach back over to this tented position, Urso, bear. And we're gonna just come back through. And back through. For our third. And our fourth. Beware your space. Finally, again, that's 3 or 4 sets. Success completing this training twice in the week on days we don't have class. Muito axé.